Feedback time on the rant.
Part 2.
Part 2, yeah, exactly. And we obviously had a bit happening last week. We went out to Canterbury midweek, and
We had the Christmas party, we were in court, we're putting up a good case.
yeah,
How's our lawyer going? Is it the vibe of it?
it's the vibe.
We've got Dennis Denudo.
we've got we've got the overseas version.
Good man, good man. Okay, well that's all pretty fun. Excitement. Bit of a laugh.
Yeah. Watch this space. Last week I put a pearl down, and Gordon and I'll do a pearl after this show. And one of our good men said that he thinks that punters have their own scene of the crime, because we were talking about horses needing to have the planets aligned. Glenn, what's your scene of the crime? What's your favourite racetrack? Like, or do you have something, or like a carnival time, or something like a...
Well, it's certainly not over December, January. You know, we're all tired.
The DeLucas, they always took that time off.
I've always really envious how they did that.
Why? Because it's impossible for you? You're that sick?
Yeah. Yeah, just to be able to say, well, I'm going to have this month off every year, like for year and year, and like for 30 years. He'd had January off. Philip? Richard?
Richard and Philip. Well, Philip was, he was very canny player, wasn't he?
Oh my word, canny, yeah.
And fair play to him. But he was also a bit outside the market. He was a conservative, wouldn't mark the favourites that short. So obviously he wasn't interested in a time of the year where you get 8-horse fields and you need to find the money chance.
Yeah.
So we're
coming. My best time of the year, I suppose it is. I suppose it's autumn. Carnival horses, wet tracks, Randwick,
moisture. Yeah, because Sydney is typically moist in the autumn, and
the only thing I can think of recently over the last sort of 5 years is start of the spring carnival in Melbourne with the Sydney horses going down. It seems to have stamped itself as it's just consistently profitable. Absolutely guaranteed, consistent every year until the first year I decide to let down. All right, so I'm going to let you all know. Yeah, it's not fucking funny.
It's hilarious. Like there's a lot of people tune in to hear your woes.
They love your woes.
Michael Walker said it was a great discussion last week on how to attract new punters to the course. What did we actually say? I said we're not going to get new punters to the course, we're going to get new people to the course who won't be punters.
Thanks for that, Michael. I can't remember what we discussed.
Oh, well, so no comms to the bookies.
Yeah, bookies appearance money, Well, look, you have to, the other idea is giving like a on-course tote, not a rebate, but better price. So the on-course tote pays
a less percentage out of the pool.
Well, pays 5% better on the dividends to on-course.
Well, they give that to the big boys anyway, don't they? So why don't they just treat that as one person turning over money?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
That idea's been around for a long time.
Peter Todd?
So you have $100. You don't need to put up even a separate dividend. You have $100 on something. It pays $2.80. You go to get your brief, collect your brief, and there's 5% on top of the $2.80. So there's an extra $14 there. So you get $2.94, and they go, wow, I got $2.94, and those bastards at home got $2.80.
Yeah.
Well, if you want actually punters to the track, but they actually don't want punters to the track, because what needs to happen is that the ATC needs to rely on money going through the betting on track to make their money, but they don't. They get the tab to collect all the money across like betting on Chile and San Francisco and whatever.
They're going very well, those.
But they get the tab to collect all the money, and then the tab divvies the money up. And so the ATC go, well, if we get someone to bet a bit more on the track, it's not going to make any difference.
No, you're right. It doesn't make any difference.
So,
mind you, I just quickly butting in there talking about the ATC and the old STC, because if you want to go to the fights, come out to Rose Hill. We actually had a bloke on Saturday thrown off 40 minutes before the first. It was like a new outstanding record by some old mate. Not one bar was open, and old mate was being marched off. It's outstanding work. So he's paid, he's walked in, you're a cunt, fucking off he goes. Like, he set a new time record. 40 minutes before the first.
Oh, come on, lots of people don't even get in.
What do you mean?
So, you know the Bucks bus pulls up and security just goes, keep on driving.
Do they really?
Well, they hop off and they've got bottles in their hand and then it's,
Yeah.
see you later, you're not coming in. Yeah. And they've pre-bought their tickets.
That's just wrong. That's like where do they send them to Manus Island? Like are they refugees? Yeah. What? You're not welcome in here?
Well, I think they just straight out of Rose Hill to Hooters or something like that.
But I mean, so promoted as a party venue, and then you say you can't come to the party.
So it's another 30 blokes that'll never come to the races for life. They go, like 30 years from now when they're on their 4th marriage and they go, what's that Bucks night? We're going to the races. Fucking dirty, filthy race. I wouldn't go. I'll tell you back in 78. Like it's just wrong. I thought old mate being marched out of the 40-minute mark and the big... What about security guards these days? Have you seen them? Have you looked at them?
It does seem to be run by a particular section of our
culture.
Society.
It's the fucking bombers are checking for bombs. I mean, for fuck's sake! Hey, let me check your bag. Let me check your fucking bag. Fuck me! Like honestly. Oh.
Okay, so we've got an email here from A. Noid. Who could that be?
Adnoid?
Deer Racing Ant. Came across your website and was wondering whether you gather on the ground racing information. Hence your site name, Racing Ant.
He thinks we're racing ants.
I am particularly interested
I bet like an ant.
Jump out information. I don't need a full barrier trial style result. Just date, location and distance. It would be particularly useful for first up runners. And you might even be able to sell it to Racing New South Wales as part of the owner/trainer integrity drive. Perhaps you could even suggest to Racing New South Wales that it be compulsory for trainers to submit this information and to protect against false information. Have heavy penalties for false submission. Maybe even use your racing ants to ensure compliance. Surely it's not a hardship to record 3 inputs for a jump out. Yours sincerely, A. Noid.
Oh, he's annoyed.
Yeah.
Now I've got it. We're racing ants.
So, Gord, you're particularly keen for this jump out information because you find a first upper from an area that's, that they don't necessarily trial.
It's very true. I really want to know it, but you do get to know your stables and know, you know what I mean, the non-trialling ones and which ones are actually going to be ready. I mean,
but still, you're less likely anyway. Yeah, well, the Tim Martin horse was interesting yesterday because every time I've seen that, they've started favourite.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I went, well, I've tried busted a boiler and I've marked this horse 16-1, but I think it'll be 5-2.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
And yet it was 16-1.
And
what's Warren Godson right now?
He
said, by the way, no. You used to get it all, Mark. I used to ring you and get it off you.
What,
so
the
you
jump
still
outs?
Getting it? Particularly at Canberra.
When Terry Copper was steward, he used to disseminate the Kimbler information because Kimbler have 1 barrier trial and 8 jump outs.
Yeah.
But that was the only jump out information I got. Warren Godson, he was coming to the Christmas party. He said, coming down from the bush. Oh, well, we didn't reply that is there a place out the front of this joint, meaning the Christmas party joint, that I can tie my horse up?
See, I tell you what, Warren's even worse than those bush trainers that drive them down in the float. He rides it down to go in the races.
Well, there was a Melbourne Cup winner which was ridden from Sydney.
Yeah, I know.
Years
when
ago.
was that?
Yeah. Well, Nara.
It was funny because it was actually ridden from Sydney down to Melbourne Cup. That Melbourne Cup, it was a very hot day and they didn't let it do 2 parades. They said, oh no, cruelty to animals.
Now, last week we had a photo finish that Glenn disputed in the quiz. The buzzer.
Oh, wow.
Dicko v. Glenn.
Yeah,
Glenn was very upset.
Yes.
And so we had a very good man from New Zealand, Shane Cole. He did the slow-mo and put it on Twitter. And it shows Dicko just beating you.
Oh, so I was wrong. Dicko beat me.
It's quite a margin too. It's about 2 seconds in slow-mo.
How am I going with
Anyway, so they were all going, oh no, Dicko definitely won. And Tim Williams very kindly said,
he's only got months to live. Give him a break. Good on you, Tim. That's true too. I've only got 9 months now.
Mick Green wrote in saying, hi boys, love the show and have contributed in the old Punters Show days. Glenn has a good right to poo-poo T. Berry. The headline should read, the jockey that keeps on giving, aka Tommy Berry, rode 3 favourites at Rosehill on Saturday for 3 losses. Season to date, he's on 16 rides on favourites for 1 win. This may be before Montreal as well. The win was back on 3rd of September 2016.
Wow.
For comparative purposes, Jim Byrne has ridden 18 favourites for 7 wins. James McDonald, pre-New Zealand holiday, rode 27 favourites for 13 wins. The lay strategy of this season remains Tommy Berry on favourites at Saturday Metro meetings. Good luck, boys. Hope the drink was good. I live in Toowoomba, so if it's on next year, me and my bookie mate Pat Kynock are coming.
Well, that's a really good email. That's a great email. These are like stats that, as a punter, you can like.
Yeah, well,
but if he's ridden 16 or 17 favourites for 1 win, what does that mean going forward? We should be backing him on favourites because he'll catch up.
Well, something has changed because didn't he give birth?
She had a baby, yeah.
Is that number 1?
No, number 2. He's got a little 3-year-old.
Oh, okay. Well, nothing's changed. He
comes to races all the time, the little boy, and he looks a nice little fella. And they've had a daughter, so they've had a boy and a girl, and he's got the picture-perfect little family, which is nice.
So, what are we doing with him?
I'm trying to think of something sort of in relationship to Hawks, because obviously...
Yeah, he does a lot of riding for Hawks.
Hawks, yeah, and they're the ones solid in the market as well. I don't know.
It's pretty and pretty, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all very pretty. Terry wrote, hi fellas, big fan of your show. Interesting news in the week about James Doyle becoming stable rider for O'Shea. The suggestion in the UK was he was on the outer. Perhaps this is the last chance saloon.
Wow.
Great to read about the enthusiasm of the trainer, but I'd want an extra point or 2 until Doyle proves himself. Well, the Glenster has given him the tick.
I agreed completely with you prior to Saturday show, but watching him ride and hearing that whip crack at the 200 like I did, he really belts them. Like, he's a beauty. Nothing like seeing a horse going as fast as it can and just getting a real good crack. To know that when it gets to winning post, it's used every centimetre of its energy. You know?
Awesome. I'm not like I like his balance. I like his aggression. I like that whip use. As far as tactics that need to be specifically used on specific tracks, he's got to have a lot to learn.
So we'll be at Canterbury on Friday night, or it might be at Wyong on Wednesday. What are we going to do with him there?
Wyong at Gosford, you're going to have to be against him there.
No, Thursday's Goulburn.
Hawkesbury, you're going to have to be against him.
Yeah, Wyong's Wednesday, Thursday's Goulburn, Canterbury Friday night.
Wyong Wednesday?
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Get ready for your 8-horse fields there. Although hopefully I'm proven wrong as you're watching this. Hi guys, Adam writes, big follower of the RANT, previously the show. I'll be in Hong Kong at Happy Valley in mid-December and we'll be betting up. What's the best way getting set for a good bet as it's run by the tote? I guess I have to get on with the filthy corporates. Any tips for the track, jockey? Also, you talk about the big punters. I still regard Mark Reed as the best, 100 yards on them all. His old tips on Sports Tonight didn't lose. Also, his old website, Aussie Form, was solid back in the day. Regards, Adam. Now, Glenn, you've been to this
meeting,
Hong
yeah.
Kong meeting.
Well, I just bet on the tote, I suppose. I just bet on the tote, but you know, like there are illegal bookies over there and that. But you want to bet with them, even though all they do is pay, but they all look the same to me.
Yeah, so you know, for a casual, you can't get onto CityBet. You've got to be invited to bet to go into CityBet. So it's that's not going to be an option.
As regards to your comment about Mark Reed, I wholeheartedly agree. Like over a period of time, he's just been innovative. He's been a good judge. He's had his hurdles,
and now he's a fund manager.
After a stroke, we've got Jay Lloyd after a stroke, 7 winners, and Mark Reed a fund manager after a stroke. I can't wait to have a stroke. I might be back.
I haven't looked
That's your
at
only
it.
hope.
Might be my only hope.
I haven't looked at it, but with the Hong Kong betting, obviously your overseas money goes into the STAB pool, okay? Yep. So you're going to have a lot more anomalies in New South Wales, Tote or Tab or whatever the other ones are. You'll probably find that the Aussie jockeys will be shorter in those pools. You can get some value about your Asian jockeys in the smaller pools if you're not betting that big.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Ian wrote in, hi guys, just watching my weekly horn-blowing show. Mark is 100%, it's a new era. 30 years I went to the races and trots every week to bet, lived in Bendigo, went to Melbourne and back, 360k round trip.
It's great.
Now live in Melbourne for 10 years, live 5k's from Flemington and have not been to the races once. I lay on Betfair and am spoilt by TV coverage. You will never get the young ones back or me to the races except to party, so everyone should get over it. Mark for VRC and AJC President.
Oh, that's very nice.
except
You would be good at running race guns.
Oh, except he's going to be wasting all his time trying to get people back to the races. and it's not going to happen, supposedly.
it's a new age and technology rules, so we need to work with it. Well, obviously I agree with you, Ian, you agree with me. Aaron Wilcox, who's a very good contributor to particularly our Facebook page, always messaging, he said, did you happen to notice that crossover form between Goldstream, who was heavily spruiked in Melbourne resuming for Weir, and Closing Bell for Waller in race 6, and he wrote this on Friday. Both contested the Grade 1 Secretariat Stakes in the US behind Highland Reel last August, slowest running for the last 4 years. Closing Bell ran second, beaten 5 1/4, and Goldstream fourth, beaten 8 1/2. From the 6 horses behind Highland Reel, the race has only produced 2 winners, non-black type from 24 combined attempts.
For fuck's sake, Aaron, how thorough are you, man? Like, how do you know to look up?
He's
I
got,
think that's fantastic information, but you want to be careful you don't get paralysis by over-analysis.
well, yeah, but I mean that's the
It's
fine,
awesome. It's
fine
awesome.
line. Fine line. Ron wrote in, Ron Zara Giglio. Interesting name there.
It's interesting. Zara Giglio.
Hi boys, not sure where you found this dicko bloke, but seriously, I've been a weekly viewer of the Punter Show, but not sure I can take it anymore. I understand you're trying to attract a younger crowd, but is that at the expense of sharing expert knowledge? You used to have a young guy on your show, Aaron Macy, and at least Aaron understood racing and had valid opinions to share, whether you agreed with them or not. This bloke is utter dribble and has no opinion on anything. It's been weeks now and he's yet to utter a sentence that was interesting. Bring back the Punter Show, please.
Oh, Ron, I think it's a bit harsh on young people.
Well, anyway, so Ben Innes...
We are trying to, like, which is a bit like the race club, we're trying to bring younger people in too, and maybe we're like lay Emigrant Park.
Yeah.
You know, like, have a look at Lamb, like, have a look at us.
Seriously, if a bloke is giving you a staking plan and is making profit on SP or best tote, that's valuable.
Yeah, and what that says is that we haven't got to the best bit of Dicko yet.
Well,
you know, like we just haven't worked out how to get Dicko to give you what you need
But maybe
from...
Dicko's method of looking at it is just simple. But who cares if that's the way you make money?
Yeah.
Fine.
But I mean, he's obviously got something to offer if he's able to produce that,
Yeah.
right? So that's what we're working on. Ben Innes then jumped to Dicko's defence and said, geez, a bit tough. Did you ever think he might be nervous? I mean, these blokes have been doing this for a while and they gel well together in conversation as well as the fact that they're big personalities on camera. So it might be a little hard to see where he fits in.
And that's very true too, because he's often been sitting to my left, and I often think, I don't mean to like.
But you keep looking this way.
And then I go, and he would be nervous. I was nervous the first 5 or 10 shows. It was hard.
You were nervous at the Christmas party.
You know, I'm a very nervous person.
He just doesn't want to bulldoze right into a conversation and look like a know-it-all. If you click on Dicko's mailbag, you can see he has a massive following, and that just doesn't happen
And that's a
without
fair,
knowledge of
I think that's
of a
a
racing game.
fair response from Ben to Ron's quote.
I
But
think that's-
it's all right. Ron doesn't like Dicko. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You can't like it. I mean, people, you know.
I don't know, bloody, what is it? The Kardashians or whatever, they got a big following too.
Kardashians.
Doesn't mean they're not idiots.
Kardashians,
that'll do.
Kardashians. That will fucking do me.
Take one.
Oh, you mean, yeah, Kanye's wife, Kim
But it's like,
Kardashian.
Glenn, when you asked me, oh, did you watch that reality TV show last night? Like, come on, mate, you know? You're actually far more modern and hip and up to date than Mark and I are.
Oh, for sure, you know everything.
Yeah.
What are you talking
We
about?
listen to podcasts about ancient Roman history.
Man, yeah, I'm up to 387 AD. I'm getting there. History of Rome, I recommend it to everyone. It's a podcast that I just love. I can't wait to get in the car and listen to it.
Yeah.
What do they talk about?
This
What
guy
happens,
has done 180 podcasts, like all 15-minute podcasts on the history of Rome, where he just gives his version of the history of Rome. David Diamond was at the Christmas party. Thanks for coming. Very good fan of the show.
Yep.
He said, hi guys, please pass this on to Gordo and Ned. I use this along with racing.com for Melbourne jump outs, and he's given a YouTube address with Flemington jump outs. Thanks for a great night on Friday, some great stories told, especially the Saintly story, David Diamond. We had a fellow called Nigel turn up at the party who apparently followed Saintly around for all of his career. It's the most...
It was a delicious story, wasn't it?
Great story. He was
a nice man, Nigel.
Loved hearing it.
By the way, thanks, David. That's much appreciated. Yeah.
Rob Scurry, he said, hi boys, just want to thank... So Rob Scurry wasn't their character.
He's always been a character, Rob. He's a
I,
good guy.
I haven't met him before.
I've been here for 15 years. He's
yeah.
always been the same.
Yeah, do you want to buy some wine? He didn't offer you any wine.
No, I don't.
He sells wine.
Oh, good on you.
Huh? Hi boys, just want to say thanks for a great night at the Christmas party. Had a great time. Mark, Glenn and Gord was so accommodating and it was good to be with like-minded people. All the best for Christmas and the New Year. May we back plenty of winners. Cheers from Rob.
That's a nice email.
Simon Marshall, he got on Twitter and he got on Facebook, sorry. And
Simon,
said,
not the jockey.
This is the jockey. He loved the Punter Show. Bring Glenn Gould back. Does anyone know what Aaron's up to now? Well, Aaron's got a cleaning business. We've seen him out the races
I
a few
didn't think
times.
Simon Marshall would know us.
Oh come on, you're his competition.
You'll have to come up with maybe another alter ego. Glenn Gould. Is there anybody else?
I don't know.
No?
The surfing punter tweeted, followed this guy because of his bio. Think Glenn may appreciate. Simon Jordan, ex-owner of Crystal Palace Football Club, ex-owner of £75 million.
Yeah.
Theatre, films, football, restaurants, magazines and more. If it cost me money, I did it. Montebello Spain.
What does that mean though?
He's the ex-owner of £75 million.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just had no
Wow.
luck.
He's done it all.
He's done it all.
How do you do 75?
But that's the story about George Best, you know, the famous soccer player. He was in a hotel room and he had like a Miss World with him or whatever, and there was, you know, notes everywhere and blah blah blah, and the waiter was dropping off some sort of like, I don't know, some champagne or something like that, and he just looks at him and goes, you've just, you know, you've so let me down, mate. You're just disgraced now, you know. You spent all your money, blah blah, and George Best replied or something like, mate, I've spent all my monies on hookers, booze and drugs, and the rest of it I've wasted. So I'd suggest this Simon Jordan character's probably done the same thing.
Steve M, he tweeted, form seems useless in Sydney. Much better to follow tips and watch betting. It's better to bet on things that don't look like value. He's got a case of the summer racing as well, Glenn.
I got to say, I reckon you would be winning if you're back to horses you thought were touch unders.
Do you remember? Well, I remember it was back in the Steve Collar days. You know, when Ploppy was getting going, and they just came up with this idea of ticks and crosses.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the only way. You can't bet the prices. You can't bet the overlays. You've got to pen horses, which is the crosses method.
Yeah.
So,
so
Stewie would go, well, I eliminated this and this and this and this and this and this, and I was left with two horses.
So I'm backing them. I don't care what the price is.
Yeah.
If one of those two wins, I just have a losing race.
Yeah.
And I'll find profit doing that.
Yeah. And that became very, very fashionable in the late 90s.
I actually think that, well, the way my best results are when I find something that, you know, I've assessed as an even money or shorter chance, and I'm getting over that price. It's real simple. That'd be like 9%.
Yeah, so that's a happy area for you to play in. Whereas I'm so uncomfortable betting in the sub 5 to 2 range.
5 to 2 down.
5 to 2 down. So I saw 330 the second last winner yesterday. I went, I should take that because I expected to start 5 to 4.
Was that backstrap?
Snowden thing.
No, the second start of
okay.
Snowden's. I saw 330 and I went, God, I hate betting in that area. And,
You wouldn't mind 2 minutes out though.
Oh, I looked at it and I went, you stupid
The last
fuck,
price
you
I
stupid
price I took was $2.50.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just it was an obvious 5 to 4 chance in that race that, and there you go, they put up 330. They put up 7 to 2 Victime Lamore. So, you know, you've got to be on your toes. The opportunities are there, but you've got to snaffle them. Matt Taylor, good to see Matt Taylor on Friday night. He was in good form.
He's a very nice man.
He says, hope.
One of the nicest people I've ever met, Matt Taylor. Which is weird because I don't know why I don't like him.
He's a great bloke.
Huh?
He's just a nice bloke.
Yeah,
Is that what, even after what?
I'm waiting to hear that, you know, he might be a serial killer or something like that. You know what I mean?
He's a very nice bloke.
Anyway, Hope
So
Glenster tells me I'll never back another winner again.
Yeah.
Hashtag Lloyd7. Hashtag Glenster's curse. You know what he's talking about?
I don't know, but I might have said Jeff Lloyd will never run.
Oh yeah, sorry, Jeff Lloyd 7. Yes, of
He's
course.
rode 7,
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
But I've since retracted that and said that he's without doubt one of he's in the top 10 Australian racing sports stories of the year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, that was just amazing to be at the track the other day there and watch him ride 7 winners on a 12 race card.
And to ride the last 5. So he got himself a bank in the 5th, and then he unloaded on himself on the quaddie.
He's a freaking marvel.
He's a marvel.
And didn't we get him because of EI? He turned up when the
He is
when the AI ban was lifted.
unbelievable because not only is he like well into his 50s, he looks fucking 70. He's like a little old man puppet. Like he looks fucking awful.
Look, he's absolutely fantastic up in Brisbane, but you know, how are you going to be treating him if you came back down to Sydney?
No, he's not. He's correctly graded.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's going unbelievably well.
Oh, he's going absolutely
Well, he's
fantastic.
not a young man.
It just seems to be outriding them by being a little bit more aggressive and taking vanguard positions. So,
Doesn't hurt to be up there. Grant P tweeted, the boys went very well again south of the border. Gordo wins, Dicko set. What does that mean? Gordo should have bet up the national debt on the last. Who won the last, Gord? At Pakenham? Royal Pakenham?
yeah, I had to win a Galactic something or other. You know.
No, I should say
That was the winner.
Can you believe that? That's how keen they were. It was Pakenham Cup Day on
How
Saturday.
the fuck did you do packing?
We found a great bet in the first race, actually. That was the best bet. We came out of higher standard form races, was given no chance, went out to 1,300 metres, which was unsuited, back to the 1,000 metres, and it ran round. I think you could have got $14, $15 on the fair. It was a fantastic bet, and guess what? The odds-on favourite, Mark, had won over 1,200 metres, 1,100 metres, and its third start this preparation. What distance was it running over?
1,000 metres.
1,000 metres. It was just an absolutely gold situation.
There you have it. Look wide. See, maybe we're not looking wide enough. We're determined to win in this bloody crucible. That's the toughest. You know, that's why
You're
Colliery.
determined to win, and you're determined to win when you're not going to take prices under 5 to 2.
Well, no, I am, but it's just like, you know,
okay,
I'm
Phil
always
Hickey.
just a bit like,
Yeah.
you know.
I don't mind taking price under 5. I just get to the ones I back under 5 who don't win.
Yeah, you've got to trade in that area. I'm just saying that, you know, I feel less comfortable trading in that area. Remember Steve Collier? Yeah, he would find horses in Mount Barker and Pinjarra and like, and I go, how the hell?
Why were you pulling your hair as you were telling that story then? That was funny. Yeah, go on, anyway. Yeah,
So he's diversified. It's like, you know, I've got these ideas, Gord's ideas. He's employed them at Pakenham last week to great advantage. And it's like, well, we've got good ideas. We need a wider pool of races.
We need some volume
to deploy those ideas.
That's what all the big guys do, don't they? You know, let's say you've got your ticks and crosses, whatever they are. Well, grab the form, or if you've got a database or something like that, do those ticks and crosses that you like and think provide value. Do those on every racetrack in Australia and see if it works. And you check your data to see if it actually works for maybe, I don't know, the last 6 months or something like that. And if it doesn't, don't worry about betting there. And if it does, start betting there.
Peter Baxter.
And you might need ratings to win to check your data.
You would definitely want
Go
to
to Peter Baxter here.
Now Peter Baxter, another good man that came on Friday night, and he said, just been for a run to work off the sins of Friday night. Great night, Rant team. Thank you. Fantastic to meet Dicko's beard.
I must admit, Dicko's beard has got a bit of a life of its own.
It does.
Anyway, we're not doing the quiz. No quiz this week, is there?
There's no quiz.
No,
There's
say
no
it's
quiz. But
fortnightly,
can you look a bit
yeah.
more enthusiastic about Team's quiz next time?
I was just hopeless at quizzes.
Oh, the quiz
Doesn't it?
is
It's fucking-
gold, and that's
people fucking-
You know how many people are going to be checking the buses these days as well. It's going to be great.
So Sweet Redemption's going to be in the Villiers, because I mean last week
Yeah.
was the Festival Stakes, Villiers.
Fourth
blah,
run of
blah,
the same
blah,
distance
blah,
and blah, 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 you know.
No, but it's been, what's it been? It's been 13 to 16 to 15 to 16 to 15 back to 16.
And is Religify
Gonna win?
going to be in the race? Is Dean Panya going to be in the race?
I think we might, like, Religify might disappear now. One of those, you know, situations where something goes wrong and it's all bye-bye. Also, Religify a mile. Like,
These sort of Christmas races.
It was going to be
Yeah.
like 2 to 1 on Saturday was 1,500.
yeah, I know. And what would have happened in the betting in that race, given that it wasn't the flat track that had won that 2-star 2 weeks before?
Or one. Anyway, anything else, guys?
This Christmas stuff, as far as the major racing is concerned, looks at DF.
Yeah.
When are we back at Randwick?
Well, we're back at Randwick in 2 weeks' time, and we'll have 6 weeks of Rose Hill feed there.
It's going to be a fantastic betting program.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll have those podgy English races. You know, the 2-year-old English race that Extreme Choice came up for, and the other English race that Bernie Baker's horse won. Lady, what's it? Sniper.
Did you guys see him win that race on Saturday at $1.40? That's
Yeah. What about it? J. Lloyd ride it?
well, he steered it.
It went easy, did it?
Oh, Winning Rupert.
Winning Rupert.
Yeah,
Fuck,
and
yeah.
who was the horse that came second in the trial to Winning Rupert that ran round?
Yeah,
and
the
it was a
other day.
Beyond Baker horse as well, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think that winning breakfast got some ability.
I think it goes in next start. All right, well, that's been the end of the rant this week. We've had a good rant, haven't we?
Yeah.
Probably our second or third last show for the year this year. We'll get a couple more out probably. We're off to court mediation next Monday. If you want to come along and just, I don't know, sit in the corner, eat popcorn,
throw something.
Yeah, you might have a favourite side.
What about some banners?
Oh, it's all a bit of fun, isn't it? I did read with interest, boys, that what I got left with when Racing New South Wales went out of the way to charge me because a few of the jockeys and the lovely jockeys' wives blew up that I said I didn't care about jockeys. And I did notice 3 years ago, Michael Robb posted a comment after the race when he got a favourite home, but it's a very tricky ride and made a few wrong decisions, but got home. And the commentator kept saying, look, like, imagine the punters out there, imagine the punters. And he said, I don't care about punters.
Ah.
So he said exactly what I said, but the other way round. And guess what, jockeys and jockeys' wives out there? They didn't even have an inquiry. And what happened to me? Oh, no. I got absolutely fucking hammered. So, well done. And for all you jockeys and jockeys' wives out there, when you pat your little kids on the head and send them off to school, you tell them about that freedom of speech and how you really believe in it too, because you're the biggest hypocrite in the fucking world.
See ya.
It's a good ending.